Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910 269 8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast with Kip Thompson. We just heard from one of our big sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. Those guys do a huge business with fencing, and they can meet your needs. And we are super excited to have them as part of our team right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Tonight's show is also being brought to you in part by Trevor Atwell and Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina, and we're going to hear from them as we close out tonight's show. We've got a special announcement to make for this week on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. We're going to call this week Kids Week. This Saturday night at the Rockfish Speedway, we were able to go and watch some great racing, and we saw 17 junior sprint cars inside the Rockfish Speedway. And tonight we have a first-time guest on our show. He's out of Lawrence, South Carolina, from the Palmetto State, the driver of the number 427. He picked up the win. It's James, the high side kid, Erskine. Hey, buddy, good evening and welcome to tonight's show.
Thank you.
I am so glad, man, to have you on the show. I've been watching you for a couple of years, when you guys come over to the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And congratulations. Let's talk about that win Saturday night, man. That was quite a contest there as you set fast time. You were on the pole. You led every lap. But tonight, Keith, man, was reeling you in there on those last couple of laps, and you guys were side by side going into turn 3. And let's talk about how you held her off.
So I was just trying to stick the bottom in the corner and whenever she tried to throw the car in there to push me out of the bottom, I tried to just not let her get through there.
Well, you did a fabulous job, and I saw you guys racing side by side. And, really, I love action like that because what you guys did, you and tonight, Keith, and along with all the other drivers, because there was a lot of drivers, that were battling for position behind you guys gave the fans exactly what they paid, man, some great racing action.
Yeah.
So what does it take? Now, let's talk about now. How long have you been a race car driver? Now, did you do go-karts or anything before junior sprints, or is this your first ride?
This is my first race car.
Wow. So if this is you've been doing it for a couple of years now, obviously, because I've seen you at Fayetteville Motor Speedway before the 2023 season. What kind of struck your interest, I guess, and what made you want to be a race car driver?
Just being grown up around racing and just seeing whenever I was young, my dad used to take me to the racetrack all the time.
Well, when you say when you were young, let's tell all of our viewers, how old are you, James?
9 years old.
So you're 9 years old and you got your love of racing from being around the racetrack with your dad.
Yeah.
So is there a certain part that that you really like about being in the cockpit of that junior sprint? What's the feeling like, man, when you're behind the wheel of that thing and you're pacing around and when you're on the front row and in your mind you're thinking, we're about to go green right here. It's time for me to put up or shut up here. So what happens there in your mind as you get ready to start that race?
That all I have to do is get a good start and hold on. Mainly whenever you have Tanaya behind you or on the outside of you, because she'll try to go and push you into the corner if she had to.
Well, she is a very fierce competitor. And, I happened to be at the Rockfish Speedway last year whenever she actually got her first win. And actually, we had her on the show. And I know this is not your first win, but we wanted to have you on the show tonight. And let's talk about maybe are there some goals that you have, for the 427, that your team there for 2023? Are there some goals that you've got set in mind?
Yeah, to get at least 4 more races or 4 more wins.
Okay, so why 4 more wins? What's the magic number about 4 more wins?
It's not really a magic number. It's just I just I noticed one more race before the break, and then pretty much I've got 3 more wins. I've already got 2 wins this year so far the year, and I feel like I know at least 3 more wins will be able to make me be the points leader and to be able to win the points, as long as I stay up in the top 3 every race.
Oh, okay. So when we're talking about goals, then the high side kid is, you just said it, you're chasing a points championship at Rockfish Speedway this year.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome, and we wish you the best of luck. Hey, let's pull up your shirt there. I want to see what kind of t-shirts that you got on there tonight.
Team Wild Child.
Team Wild Child, Willie Milliken, the driver of the MJ Price #1 Longhorn out of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Hey, he's a really, really good friend of mine. Now, do you know Willie personally, I guess?
Yeah, because every time we go to Fayetteville or wherever he's at, he usually he'll give me something free, more than likely.
Oh, so he gives you something free. You know, that's one thing that everyone loves about Willie and Crystal and that whole entire team. You know, they're all about the kids, and man, they give t-shirts and stuff away. And I remember a couple of weeks ago at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, when we had the big ultimate super late models there, we go down, in the stands, during intermission, and we give away free stuff. And Willie and Crystal, sure enough, like always, they gave 3 or 4 t-shirts, and some lucky kids went away with t-shirts, and that was pretty cool. So when did you get that shirt?
Last year.
So you got it last year. Now, is that like I don't want to tell anybody like your secrets or whatever, but like when you got that cool looking driver's uniform on, do you sometimes wear that Willie Milliken shirt up underneath there to bring good luck, or do you just like to wear it so all your friends can see it?
I just like to wear it just because.
Oh, just because you're a big Wild Child fan and Willie Milliken. So if you want to say hey to Willie Milliken, I'm sure he's watching tonight, so you can say hey to him on the show.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, well, listen, we always like to support those that support other drivers, and Willie and Crystal Milliken and Team Wild Child, that whole entire team from Team Wild Child, they do an awesome job, and it's truly, truly appreciated. So let's give you an opportunity there, James, to talk about some of the people that help you on a weekly basis. Like I know your dad's there with you, and you guys work on that car together. I actually saw a picture over the weekend where it never stops. After a race, you're out there, you got the wheels off of it, got it on jack stands, you're cleaning it up. I know you don't do all that all by yourself. So let's talk about some of the people that help you to get that car to where it's in contention to win and possibly pull off a 2023 track championship at Rockfish.
Conway Fresh Meats, hairstylist Cindy Brown, Lynn Lewis painting of Evolution of employees of Campers and RV, Team Wild Child, Homes Farms, Ansel Oil, CarQuest, Best Family Farms, MPC Solutions, Spencer Farm, Rockfish Speedway, Trackside Photography, Photography, 427 Motorsports, Erskine Fabrication, Blackwell Landscaping, AG's exterior maintenance, CNL Custom Motorsports, Worley Farms, Santino's Pizza, Main Street Window Tint, Carolina Tees, Tyler Equipment, 3 Aces Speed Shop, and my dad and all my family.
Well, I'll tell you, we always say when it comes time to, have a race car and have a race team, man, it really takes a village. And man, good gracious, man, you got a lot of sponsors. That's pretty cool, man. That must be a pretty confident feeling, to have those kind of sponsors, man, that believe in you, that you can keep that thing up front.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's talk about what's on your wall right back there behind you. That's the VP Racing flag. I might have given you that in Victory Lane at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Is that where that came from?
I think so. I mean, yes. Yeah, that Fayetteville.
Yeah, I think I remember on that night too, when you talk about Willie Milliken, when you won that race, if I remember correctly, he made a trip down and he was with you in Victory Lane. I know that was special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really special.
Yeah, Willie's a cool guy, man. So let's talk about what's up next for 427 Motorsports. James, the high side kid, Erskine, the driver of that really, really cool looking race car. Let's talk about what's next. Now, looking at the schedule, you guys are back on for July the 8th. Is that correct, at Rockfish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And any other tracks that you may think that you might run at this summer other than Rockfish?
Lakeview, maybe Fayetteville, and are you still trying to get Millbridge?
I don't know about it yet, but
Okay.
So it sounds like you got your agent there behind you. That's your dad, Mr. Steven there. So he's kind of like your race director and kind of gets all of your performances and your appearances lined up for you where everybody can come see that fast race car.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool deal. Well, listen, man, we thank you so much for taking time of being on the show tonight. And on behalf of all of us here at the Voice of Victory Lane podcast, we want to congratulate you on your big win this past Saturday night. The Rockfish Speedway started on the inside pole position. He set the whole entire field, brought them all to green, and led every single lap to capture that 20-lap feature there. And it was just really an awesome sight to see. And we want to wish you the best of luck from this point on for the remaining part of 2023, wherever you guys may go.
Thank you.
Anybody else before we get off and close the show tonight that you may want to say hello to or thank you to?
Thank you, just all my sponsors.
Yeah, without sponsors, man, it would be really, really hard to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, race fans, we thank you so much for joining in tonight. We are checking in Lawrence, South Carolina. He was the feature winner this past Saturday night, the Rockfish Speedway. 427 Motorsports, the 427 of James, the high side kid, Erskine, out of Lawrence, South Carolina. He's tonight's special guest on our show. We congratulate him again on his win. And look, if you've never been to the Rockfish Speedway, you need to make sure that you go and check that place out. Very, very family-oriented place. A lot of young kids, a lot of great talent that is being produced right there with Bill Dobler and that crowd at Rockfish Speedway. We were done the other night at 8:35. So, that's something that's really, really cool. And you need to go out and support these kids because, as I said in a post we made over the weekend, you need to come to cheer for these kids today because tomorrow they will be the heroes that are packing out the race grandstands on Saturday nights for years to come. This is night number 1 of Kids Week on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. And before we close tonight's show, we're going to hear from another show sponsor, Atwell Exterior Services. And as we close every show, we'll do it the same way tonight. Always be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next, right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Coming up Thursday night, Kids Week will continue. We'll be talking to the driver, the number 57 of Noah Morgan. Noah Morgan, a real young kid who had a top 10 finish this past week inside the Rockfish Speedway. We'll have him on the show, and who knows, we may try to slide in another one of these great young drivers from the Rockfish Speedway during Kids Week. Thanks so much for watching. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.